Yeah, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. My name is Mariina Hallikainen and I'm the CEO of Colossal Order. And how many of you guys have heard or played City Skylines? Almost everybody, which is great to see. Great to see and hear. So Colossal Order, we basically are City Skylines in the sense that that game is the one that really set us apart from the competition. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about how did we get there, and hopefully it's going to be inspiring for some of you game developers and also give you an idea how the government also helped us in our journey. So let's begin. Colossal Order is based in Tampere, Finland, and I always want to point this out because it doesn't really matter where you're located. As long as there is good infrastructure, internet connection, and preferably an airport nearby. So you can actually make great games anywhere in the world. We founded the company back in 2009, so we're almost 10 years of age at the moment. We're a team of 22 people, which is still considered relatively small. But for us, it has always been more about quality over quantity, let's put it that way. And we are really set on the simulation genre. We want to be making simulation games for PC platform. That is our passion, and that's what we want to work on. Our first game was called Cities in Motion. It was a mass transit simulator. We also made a sequel to it, and then the dream project, City Skylines, was released a little bit over 3 years ago. And people ask me, well, how do you make games at Colossal? And I say it's cake, soda, and free time. That's how you make games. We basically, I want to always, when talking to other developers, remind people that games, as passionate as we are about them, it's still a job. It's a real company. It's not a hobby project anymore when we're talking about business. And it's very, very important to understand that only when you have proper rest, proper free time, you can be creative and create something new. And I know there's going to be somebody saying that, oh, we don't believe that you have made City Skylines without crunching. And we were just eating cake, and that's how we did it. And for the beginning of the company, I'm one of the co-founders. We were a team of 5 people. We wanted to create something of our own. And it was during winter 2008 that my old high school friend called me and asked that you were studying some business things. And to be honest, I did have a minor in industrial management. Not really a business school. I was actually studying automation technology at a technical university in Tampere. But I was thinking that when he proposed that if I could start handling the business side of a new game company, I thought, what can I lose? How difficult can it be? It has been challenging. There has been so many challenges, but it's also so much fun to work in games, to work with these amazing people. So what I did from that winter all the way until the company was actually officially set up in June 2009, I went and talked to everybody who's anyone in Finland in the game industry. I talked to people from Remedy, Redlinks, Recoil Games, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, but there were so many of these established successful companies in Finland, and I called their CEOs, producers, lead programmers, game designers, and I asked that, hey, it's Mariina here, I'm about to start my own game business, can you go out for lunch, coffee, beer, I'm offering, please tell me everything you know. And they did. They did tell me so many things that is vital when starting a game business, game company. It was so important to us to hear those stories where things had not gone right or even worse, so that we wouldn't have to repeat those mistakes. And the game industry in Finland, it's so warm and welcoming. And now that I have been in the industry for almost 10 years, I'm also doing the mentoring. So young developers can contact me. I mean, offer me lunch. I will tell them how did we do with Colossal Order, how did we get to where we are now. And the openness is something that in the Finnish game industry is definitely a strength for us. Well, anyway, the company is running in June 2009. We had 50,000 euros of our own money that the founders brought into the company. And we were thinking, how do we actually handle setting up a demo? Because we knew that making a game demo will cost money. We will have to somehow get a budget together to have something to show for publishers, because we always wanted to go with a publishing deal. And for this, it was when we actually got support from the university that I was studying in. There was a program for startups. We got legal advice, business advice, and we ended up getting a grant and loan from Tekes, nowadays called Business Finland. So basically with these grants, with loan from Finnvera, the bank in Finland that offers company financing, we managed to get almost 200,000 euros altogether to make the demo that we could then showcase to the publishers. And this was very important to us in a sense that without that kind of grant, without that kind of support, it would have been immensely risky and immensely difficult for us to actually try and get the demo done. Because we would have had to go to a bank, get very expensive loans. So in that sense, we are very grateful to the Finnish government as well to supporting us in the journey of becoming a huge success. And we made a demo of Cities in Motion. We showed it to publishers at the end of the year 2009, and then it took over 6 months still to actually get a publishing deal. So what is important here to understand is that to get to the point that you can actually sign something, it can take a really long time. And from the beginning at Colossal, we decided that we will give ourselves a year. We will get financing for 1 year, and if we don't succeed, we will have to really hard think how do we handle things. And we were naive enough to think that publishing deal actually meant that they would be paying us something. They did not. What happened there is that we had a publishing deal, no money, half-finished game. And then we started calling friends, fools, and family sector, and got enough money to actually finish the game. And then we started to actually see some of that sweet publisher money. And when talking about publishers, for us it was evident from the beginning that we want to have the best people selling our game, because we were not marketing people, we were a team of 7 people. There was no way that we could actually do that work. So what we did is we scouted different publishers, thought about who would be good fit for us, which is really important when working with a publisher, that your game actually fits their portfolio, you have an understanding of what the business is and what you're trying to achieve. And as a Finnish person, I'm okay to admit that Finns are not really known to be the best marketers out there, so we had to go to Sweden to work with Paradox Interactive. So basically they fill in where we lack resources. And we have been working with Paradox Interactive for what is it now, 8 years. So it's a very long and trusted partnership. And this is a great place to be at, where you have that understanding between partners. So somebody might say that, or somebody did actually say to me when I talked to the Finnish game industry professionals, those people when I was young, and they were saying like, well, one of them was saying to me that never work with a publisher, they will take your soul. But I don't believe that. I didn't believe it then, I still don't believe that. Because the publisher can really offer funding, they can help you make the game better, sales, marketing, testing and localization, all of those things that you as a small developer don't want to be focusing on. You want to be focusing on making the best game possible. So dividing the workload, it's completely okay. And a couple of words about Cities in Motion, because it was a really important project for us. I mentioned that City Skylines was our dream project, for sure. But there was no way we could make a full-blown city builder with just 5 people and basically 200,000 euros. That was impossible. So we decided to take a part of that and focus on mass transit within a city. So there were ready-built cities where you had to set up the public transportation system in there. And the game was actually quite good. I'm really proud of it. For our first game, it's a really charming, it works, it's technically sound, and we had a little bit of a cult following even for it, in the sense that it found its niche. Enough to justify the sequel. And both of these, I would say they were moderate successes. We didn't really see that much money coming in, but enough to support our development further. So our yearly revenue was around 300,000 to 500,000 euros per year, depending on the year a little bit and what was released. We made a bunch of DLC for these games. Especially for a small team like us, releasing a game, you can't have absolutely everything there that you really want. You just have to get the game out there to start making money. And the DLC really helped us to kind of finish what we had started. So these titles actually taught us so much about game industry in general, how to work with a publisher, how to work with different technologies, and just about making games in general. So it was really important to have these titles kind of a stepping stones toward what was coming next, which is City Skylines, the game that really made us. And the game has been out for over 3 years now, and we're still making a lot of content for it. The newest one called Park Life is coming out actually late May, 24th of May, and I think that's the 7th major expansion for this title, and then there has been a lot of smaller ones, which basically means that this game is still making a lot of money, which I like as a CEO. City Skylines basically in 2015 it made our revenue. Our revenue was 15 times the one we had before, so it was over 6 million euros that we had made with our team of 13 people at that time. And from there, it has been dropping. There has been a decline about 30% yearly from 2015 to 2016, and then slightly less for last year, because basically we've been investing a lot of money to make sure that we can also survive possible future flops, because we have to always have that financial planning. Gaming industry, it's so difficult. There's so much fluctuation. You can't really ever be completely certain that your next game will be a hit. So you have to have that strategy there. And not to say that I'm somehow exceptional at my job, but the thing that I think the team did well when starting or Colossal Order, there were 4 developers, and they decided we need somebody to handle the business side. We need somebody who can allow us to concentrate on our work making the game. And they were lucky enough to ask me. But the thing is that when you have these companies, you think that, oh, I can do the coding and handle the business side on the side. It's immensely difficult. I would always recommend having somebody to take care of the business side, even though you would be working with a publisher, or actually especially then somebody needs to keep them at bay as well. But about City Skylines, this is a classic city builder, completely inspired by SimCity series that we played when we were kids. And the idea is to just plan, build and manage a city. Very simple. It's a familiar gameplay, for those who had been familiar with SimCity series, for example. The game looks pretty, but it has been made with a budget. We had a budget of under 1 million, well under 1 million euros for this game. And it has sold over 5 million copies after its release. And to be honest with you guys, when we planned the release and we were talking about our expectations, internally we were thinking that it's going to be a massive success if we sell over 300,000 copies. And you can imagine the amount of cake we have had after the release. Basically, in the first 24 hours after Cities Skylines was released, it had sold over 250,000 copies, and we had to really start rethinking our targets there. But how did we actually then achieve this? How did Colossal Order actually manage to make a game that appeals to so many people out there? And we were really thinking that what do we enjoy in a simulation game? And it was the story with Cities Skylines is so that back in 2013 we were already pitching a city builder to Paradox. The problem was that EA and Maxis actually just announced SimCity 5 or SimCity or had announced that earlier, and that was coming out. And we thought that there is no way we can compete with that. There is no way we can compete with SimCity. It's going to dominate the market for the next 10 or 15 years again, like SimCity 4 did, and there was no chance. And immediately after the reviews and the player reactions came, I called the CEO of Paradox, Fred, and I said, like, okay, do we do it now? Can we start making our city builder? And he said yes, which was amazing because we had this plan of what kind of city builder we want to make, and we got the chance and we started executing immediately. We wanted there to be big maps, a lot of player control, single player. We didn't even want to bring any of those like social aspects other than modding, because modding is something that gives player a lot of creative control. So that's always a positive in my opinion. There has always been a really clear and good communication with us devs and our community, and we have actually now had a change in the community management. I don't personally do it that much anymore. I used to do it almost alone, but now I also have some help for that, which is excellent. But the thing there is that also for community management, I always recommend that there's somebody who's not so close to the game development itself, because internet is a terrible place. It's a horrifying place to be. And people can be so mean, and you don't want to distract the development team with that kind of feedback. You need to filter it slightly. It's the same thing. I filter a lot of things that publisher says to our team as well as from the community. So my job is to protect that creative bubble that our developers are in, so they can do their best. And also timing and marketing were really excellent with City Skylines. SimCity had terrible reviews. People were really disappointed. They had been waiting for this game for almost 10 years. And then Paradox did a fantastic job with the marketing campaign. We got such a huge hype for the game, and it has been really, really successful ever since. Then a little bit about our company values. For us, it is really about the balance. I have always thought about it so that our team is our most valuable resource. Our developers are, when they are happy, they are productive and creative. So my biggest task at Colossal Order is keeping the developers happy. And we don't have a lot of management at Colossal Order. Everyone has a voice. It's really important that everybody from our QA team to the creative director, everybody has a voice. They can share their opinions. They can give feedback. And also so that everybody has their clear responsibilities. When an artist gets a task, like you need to make this kind of buildings, they have the control of deciding how will they look. As long as it's cohesive, they have that freedom to bring their own vision to the game, which is so important for a creative team and creative people to have that freedom. And no crunching. I mention this usually a lot because I think it's so important. It is so important to understand that you can make successful games and you don't have to work 24/7, and you shouldn't. And also the trust between the team, trust in your partners, trust in your publisher, trust in your fans, in your community. It is what it all comes down to. And the team. And what we have been really working hard for is getting the best talent to Colossal Order. And we don't care about anything else but that you're passionate, you're knowledgeable, and you want to work with us. That is the thing that matters the most. And we have people from all over Finland, we have people from all over Europe. We're really doing a lot of work with the Finnish Game Developers Association and NeoGames organization, trying to make it easier to hire talent from outside EU as well, because the more talent we can have in Tampere or in Finland, the better games we can make. And this comes down to having high quality education and equal opportunity for people to get that information, get that education, and also be able to locate where they want to work at. So in that sense, slightly political now, but it is really important for us. We have to understand that games are a global business. We are born global. If we only target, let's say, Finnish market or even the Nordic market, we will never see any money coming back. I mean, there's not enough people. We need to go to North America, Asia. We need to go to Central Europe. And to help us do that, it's so important that we have a diverse, talented, really knowledgeable amount of group of people working on the games. And the team, I have to say, I am so lucky that at Colossal we have such great people working there. And then again, to the more humorous part, I've been mentioning cake a couple of times, but it is really for us the kind of symbol of when we pass a milestone or we fail a milestone, we eat cake. We gather, everybody gathers in the big meeting room, we eat cake and we talk. And we talk about our successes, our failures, we talk openly and honestly how we are feeling. And we have to remember to enjoy the success, and we have to remember to learn from the failure. So the cake is kind of symbol of that really, and not really that much anything else. Except it's good. I like cake. Good, excellent. So that's it for me. Do you have any questions at this point that you'd like to ask? You can also contact me later on. Unfortunately, today I will have to fly back to Finland quite early because of the new expansion coming out soon. So there's a lot of work to be done. But use this opportunity at lunchtime at least if you want to like ask any questions. Yeah, over there.
Through which channels did you approach Paradox for publishing?
Yeah, so basically the question was how did we approach the publishers? And for us it was very clear that we wanted to find the publisher who would fit our game and their portfolio would be suitable, and they would already have something established. So we wanted to have a publisher we could trust that could do their job. And in 2009, I spent quite a lot of time just going through different publishers, finding their contact details, figuring out which ones could be possible fit for us. And I found in total 40 different publishers. And I sent them this kind of submission package of Cities in Motion. I explained what the game is, what we are seeking, and I told them that we will be showing a demo of this game at Game Connection, which was back in 2009, still in Lyon. Now this event is held in Paris and also in San Francisco. But we went to Lyon and we got a meeting with 20 of these publishers. So 50% already basically said, not for us. After those meetings, we had 4 publishers who were interested or pretended to be interested. Americans can be really nice to you, but they don't really mean it. I learned this. But the thing is that with those 4 publishers, we continued talking afterwards. Then there were 2 left kind of in the running. And then in the end, Paradox gave us not the best deal in terms of finances, like from the start. There was the kind of appealing, like, you will get this much money now and we take everything. But we decided that we were holding on to the IP back then ourselves. It was a co-publishing deal and we would start seeing money after the game had been released. But it's really important to do that work. There are so many examples when somebody has gone with a publisher that is not really let's say, genuine with their intentions. So there has been problems with different publishers, but you have to do research and figure out who it is. And if you get a publishing deal from somebody and you don't know any of the games they have released, you might want to into it a little bit deeper. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much.